Hey Jesus Gang, it is Preacher Pete, and today we're going to be talking about another devotional. We're going to be talking about how to pray. A lot of times people think praying is some over complicated things. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. It's Christmas Eve. Seeing family, enjoying company, and traveling. But a lot of times people think that praying is just some far-fetched thing. They don't know how to do it, and praying is just talking to God. In my personal opinion, when you read the Bible and you look at the Old Testament, especially Psalms, when David is talking to God, sometimes he's begging for God to help him, and then sometimes he's just talking about how great God is. And we are made and created in the image of God. There's a big difference between going to church and having a relationship with God. And fortunately, it's took me a lot of years to figure that out. But God found his way to me at my darkest moment, and he lifted me up. He gave me peace, and he helped me. And there's plenty of times I felt God trying to reach out to me beforehand when I was living a life of sin. We all sin, but there's a direct path when you're disobeying and you're doing things on your own, and when you surrender your life to God. That's what I mean. But yet, don't limit prayer on asking God for help all the time. Prayer is not just talking to God when things happen, when bad things happen, when you want answers, when you want all this stuff. Enjoy God's company in the good times. This last year, God has taken me on 7 vacations. 2 of them were out of state, and I had 4 completely paid for. And I went to Houston, Texas, and it was the craziest thing. It was right when I got out of the hospital, and I was barely good enough to even go. I didn't know what I had. The doctors couldn't tell, and I just felt like I needed a break of life. So a vacation came and I took it. The flights were paid for, the room was paid for. We went to Houston though, and this was the first time I've ever prayed, and talked to God while I was doing something fun. And that just sounds messed up to me now because he's helped me out so much through thick and thin. And if you're thinking of when should I talk to God? All the time. Talk to him throughout the whole day. We're made in God's image, like I said earlier. It's a relationship. If you have a best friend, if you have a lover, if you have a mentor in your life, they want to hear from you. You want to hear from them. Y'all work good together. That's why you pick best friends. Y'all work good together. Y'all trust each other. Y'all are loyal to each other. When you pick a partner, there's so many men out here. There's so many women out here. But that one has your back. That one makes you feel special, right? There's something that they give you that the others can't. It's the same thing with a mentor, right? There's going to be some people you go in your career and you're going to find them, and you might not even find them. God put them in my life. But they elevate the way you think, not even just career-wise, but, to be a husband or a mother or a mature person along your path. And that all ties to God's purpose for your life. My thing is like I need God all day, so I'm going to talk to him, even if I'm sinning. And that's how I actually was delivered from one of the biggest sins that I had in my life. I struggled with for 12 years. I always thought, I can deal with it, I can take it. And me and my buddy were actually discussing this last night that God brought me. We think that when we use verses in the Bible wrong sometimes. When we say, God will only give you what you can bear. That does not mean you take on everything. You are with God. It's co-creation in your life. Your purpose is co-creation, right? God gives us gifts and abilities to spread the gospel, to share like who he is. And you have a purpose for your life. But how are you going to figure out that purpose if you only talk to God on Sunday? That's not You might find your purpose, but it's going to take a lot longer. Because Monday through Saturday, you got a whole life to live. I want God when I'm working out. I want God when I'm lifting weights. I want God when I'm working, I want Him to open opportunities up. I want God when I do this ministry. I want God when I set up all the lights and do the studio. Like, that's when I talk to God. I want God when I'm eating. I want to bless the food. If you are not talking to God constantly, there's something wrong. There's something wrong because you're opening yourself up to the enemy. And do I mean every single second of the day? If you want to, yes, absolutely do that. But sometimes I don't. It's important just to remember God in your day. Don't put Him in a box. It's great to make time for God and pray to Him. It's great to go to a quiet place and pray on your knees and give God the respect He deserves. But at the same time, He knows that you're human. When you're stressed out at work, talk to Him. Just say a prayer in your head. Talk to Him. God, give me a way to figure this out. You know what I mean? We overcomplicate prayer. We overcomplicate things with religion, that we have to do these certain things, light a candle. You don't have to do that. Just talk to God where you're at. You look at the disciples and how God talked to them. He talked to them like everyday people, right? Now, it's your job to respect and fear God, but God does not want you to live this mediocre, crappy life. That's not what you're meant for. You're meant for a great life. Now, will you go through storms, through tribulations, through you don't know what? Yeah, you might go through them. God even talks about that in the Bible. But He also says He's going to be with you in the valley. He also says He'll give you strength. He also says He'll give you peace and comfort. And I've seen this happen in my life. I've seen it. Like, it's a real thing. Like, I should have gone crazy, and yet I'm chilling. I'm having, not the best time of my life, but I have peace. And I have that peace because I talked to God. And I was delivered from that sin because I talked to God. Talking to God is praying. It's praying. You're talking to the God of the universe. That is technically praying. What I'm trying to instill in you today is a healthy person communicates all the time. Even when they don't want to. There's sometimes I don't want to talk to somebody, whether it be a partner, whether it be a friend, but if they want to talk, I'm right there for them. And God is the same way with you. So just know that God's in your corner. He's got your back. He has been there since day one. Most of the time, it's us that don't want to talk to Him, which is beyond me. I don't know why I do that. But I will say this. Talking to God all the time is prayer. When you get on your knees and pray, is that prayer? Yes. But the same way when you're out in public and you don't know what's going on and you say, God, keep me safe in this traffic today. God, keep me safe at work today. God, this happened. I pray for them. That has the same power in it. In prayer, you have got to start believing in your prayers. If you are saying them just to say them, cut it out. It didn't mean nothing. That would be like you trying to support your friend and you don't mean what you say to support them. That word has no value, because what if they come back and they ask or they rely on you off of what you said and it wasn't true, right? So when you come to God, just be honest. This is what God talks about with David all the time. A man after God's own heart. What that means is David messed up. He messed up a lot. We mess up a lot. But when David was searching God's heart, he was constantly talking to Him. Constantly. He wrote the whole book of Psalms talking about how he talks to God. We need to understand that our prayer life is spiritual maturity. It's your next season in life. It's your next breakthrough in life. I pray for the armor of God every single day and every single night. And I have so much peace when I do that. I pray for each specific thing. I pray for people that have came in my life and left. I don't know if they're going to come back. I don't know. But I know if God put them in my life, even if it was temporary, then He wants me to pray for them. I don't know what happens with careers and why stuff happens sometimes, but I know if God gave me them jobs and He took them away, that He'll replace it with something better. And that's the faith that you need. So when you're saying a prayer, just talk to God, but talk to Him like you mean it. Talk to Him like you mean it. And you can even be upset. That's not disrespectful. Being upset and talking to God is two different things. Like, come to God, all who are weary. Come to me, all who are weary, God says. Like, tell Him how you feel. You know, your feelings can be deceitful. Tell Him how you feel. God, take this anger away from me. God, take this depression away from me. And start speaking over your day. I am healthy. I am blessed. I am loved. I am a husband. I am a father. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am a child of God. I'm a man of God. I'm a woman of God. Speak it over your life. The power of the tongue. Speak it over your life. But when you speak and when you pray, I'm going to challenge you. Believe it. Believe it and you will see your life change. Because I've seen mine, and it does not matter if you're at rock bottom. I'm telling you right now, you can feel the presence of God. And that rock bottom is the formation that's going to help you get to the top. That rock bottom is what molds you. You know, I'm going to leave it at this so we don't dive too much deeper, but you get to figure who you are out when there's nothing left. That's when you get to figure you out. Other people can figure you out in different circumstances, but you get to figure you out when you hit rock bottom. And a lot of people say, this is a terrible spot I'm in. And it might be. But what approach are you going to have? God, what do you want me to learn in this situation? I'll tell you right now, I've gotten to the point where so much things are better than what I thought they would be, and they get taken out of my life, and I know God brought them. I've gotten to the point where it's trained me to just love God. I'm like, I couldn't even get this if I tried. And you put it right in my hands. And I did nothing wrong and it left. But it's like, I couldn't even have done that on my own. You know, so God will give, God will take, but He does not do anything for no reason. God loves you so much. I think the biggest thing is to try to understand your situation. We'll never understand it, but try to understand it with God. God, what are you trying to teach me? I don't know what's going on. I don't know the outcome. But what are you trying to teach me right now? Why is this happening? You know, God, I don't like that this is happening. It makes me feel some type of way. Can you please give me clarity? That's how you pray. Prayer is counter. Prayer is not just reactive. I'm going through all these problems. Be proactive with your prayer. So I hope this helped you today. And with that, I'll leave it because we talked about prayer. I want you to practice it, and I want to hear how it helped you. And if you guys got something out of it, you know, please hit that like button because you guys are spreading the word more than I am. Seriously, like you guys showing up day in and day out, you're spreading the gospel with me. And it's so cool. I've had like so many cool experiences with all of you. And I just want to just thank you so much. Like, I'm just super grateful. And I hope that you guys have a great Christmas. I hope you live it up for Jesus. But most of all, remember that as much pain as we've gone through, or as much stuff that we've gone through, you know, God did give His Son up for us. He did give, you know, the only thing in heaven that mattered to Him. He gave it all up. He bankrupted heaven for us. So I just want you to remember that whenever you're sitting around your family this Christmas. Make sure that you bring the person up that saved us. You know, make sure you bring Jesus in, whether it be at food, prayer, or whether it be, you know, your opening gifts, like let's thank God and read some Bible verses. But I just pray that, you know, God uses you with your family or at work or with friends this Christmas season. I love you guys so much. And yeah, just appreciate all that you guys do, and Merry Christmas.